Mausoleum of Hadrian, or Castel Sant Angelo. This is the base of the fortress where fragments of megalithic masonry and Roman concrete stick out. And as for the top, it was built later, much later. The foundation is made of polygonal masonry and everything has 0 gaps. You can tell by the color that it was probably under the water or underground for a long time. They have already restored it in the way it was possible for them. Wow, what kind of cavities are these? And a gorgeous capital, probably from the Colosseum. A massive base, it would be interesting to see it from inside. What kind of masonry is there? Essentially the same masonry as in the Colosseum. Megalithic blocks weighing several tons, but very badly damaged. Again, this is a pattern. This is not handwork. This was a machine at work. And here too. And there the base continues. Broken all these fragments, they fell out or were blown away by bomb explosions where they were bombing it all. It's very doubtful that this masonry was damaged just due to some natural phenomena. The ideal joints are still visible. Even the destroyed, clumping joints are still perfectly preserved. The entrance to the donjon is impressive. Travertine walls here, of course. It's visible that they are smeared with mortar. Let's look further. Maybe it was reconstructed. The ceiling was definitely reconstructed. You can see the concrete drips. No, the joints are good, but they are all smeared with mortar. Here you can see that the chamfer was removed with one tool, and the rest was cut off with another. Because we know that according to the technology of the gods, the walls were leveled after the blocks were laid. And again we see that metal was taken out here. Oh, what a joint at an angle. Well, how can you grind something like that at an angle? Amazing. It's like it was washed away or something. Yes, the joints are definitely excellent, but they are all coated with mortar. They overdid it during the restoration. They coated absolutely all the joints. Everywhere, where it should and shouldn't be. Oh, here they didn't coat it, but they coated it here. And here is a metal rod. There is still some left. Here they threw out a piece, and here they didn't finish it. What kind of metal is this? It's easier to see with the light. It's already rusty, which means it's steel. And you can just pour steel. It's not tin, and it's not that easy to melt it at all. And there is 0 gaps. Further on there is brick gallery, a spiral brick passage. And here is a shaft lined with travertine. But it looks like these blocks were reused. Laid crookedly and unevenly. They've been concreting here. Maybe there was some kind of lift here. And more blocks. And there's marble there. And these are definitely recycled blocks. According to the technology, travertine cannot be laid in layers like this vertically. It must always be laid horizontally. But the Romans didn't know that. They laid it anyhow. This is definitely not the original masonry, although it's in some places the joints are very good. So it's difficult to say for sure whether this masonry was original or not. It's interesting that there are many holes. Something was probably fixed here. And this passage was clearly being relayed with mortar. The ceiling is also not very high quality. Apparently it was not there initially, although it's also made of huge blocks. This window was probably cut out. Just like this one, or maybe this is the original. Anyway, it's difficult to say now. You need to look closely. And then everything further is made of brick and plastered. You can at least look at the fortress from above. Of course, it's easier to build it this way. You cut out the tiles, lay them down somehow on the mortar, and inside there's a tumbler. You throw in some stones and it's done. Simply, but not very good. And here's a model. This fortress passed into the hands of the Romans in approximately this form. Quite badly damaged. Everything else was completed by the Romans. And this is a view of the remains of the megalithic masonry of the tower. But it was very badly damaged. They restored it as best they could. And this is a newly built area. We are somewhere here. Interestingly, there are recesses in this brickwork, like for blocks. Perhaps they still use these blocks on the outside, but they collapsed. They probably used parts of the blocks as facing. That's quite possibly to make the view more beautiful. Otherwise, it doesn't look very good. So that's all, and thanks for watching. Subscribe to the channel to see new discoveries.